This playthrough is rated E for everyone. Are you ready to battle ogres in one of the greatest tactics series that no one ever talks about? Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with a new game for my library, and this time it's Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Published in 1994, released in the English version of it by Quest and MS, published by Enix of America. And, well, Ogre Battle is a... Well, let's watch the intro first, and we'll see. Ogre Battle Saga, Episode 5, The March of the Black Queen. The sage Rashidi, perhaps driven by madness, assassinated his former friend, King Grand Zenobia, and joined with Empress Endora, leader of the Northern Highlands, to wage war on 4 kingdoms. The overpowering military of the Highland legions took but a year to subdue the whole continent, and the Zentinian Empire was born. I guess it'd be Zetaginian. Zetaginian? Yeah. The rule of the empire was a pure regime of terror. Merciless persecution was directed against the loyal survivors of the old kingdoms and those who had escaped tyranny. The hearts of the people were troubled by secrets and betrayals, and much blood was spilt upon the land. Imperial Year 24. Here on the frontiers of Sharam, the last survivors of the Knights of Zenobia were planning the final challenge. Thus, we go back to the intro, so let's skip that and go to the cutscene. So let's start a new game. So the Ogre Battle is a known series, however, and it's had some re-releases since then, like the Tactics Ogre, was it Reborn game for the Switch? But unfortunately, it's still a lesser series. A lot of Tactics games tend to not sell as well anymore. They used to sell decently back in the day because you got a lot of money for your worth at the time. There are currently, let's see, at least in English versions, there's Ogre Battle, there's Ogre Battle, the Person of Lordly Caliber, Tactics Ogre, and the Knight of Lotus. I think that's it. I think there's only 4, unless there might be some Japanese-only versions of the game that I'm aware of, and this game says Episode 5. I'm not aware of any other episodes like Episodes 1, 2, 3, and stuff like that. It's supposed to represent, like, in the grand scheme of this world, that this is the 5th episode in this whole world, yet there was never actually official stories made on episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of like Xenogears. When you beat that game, it says this is the ending of Xenogears episode like 8 or something crazy like that when you beat the game. And as a kid, I was like, where's the other 7? I want to play those. But anyway, that's more like what the numbering is supposed to be. So unfortunately, yeah, this game doesn't have a lot of games in the series, but I like almost all of them pretty equally. Some more than others. Probably my favorite is Tactics Ogre, because I think I played that one the most. But anyway, when we start the game, we meet a man named Warren here. My name is Warren. I am a great seer who can understand the destiny the stars have placed upon you. I will now use the power of the tarot to decide whether or not you are fit to become a leader. Okay? But first, tell me your name. So if you want some unique stuff at the beginning of the game, if you name yourself Fire Seal or Music On or Off, you get some unique stuff. Fire Seal unlocks a unique map that you start out at the beginning of the game, and music on and off takes you to a screen where you can listen to the music of the game. We'll just name ourselves. I don't think I could put in my full name if I recall. I think I could put like Valdi or something like that. Vauldemare? Yeah, let's back up a bit. Yeah, we'll do Valdi because I can't do Vauldemare, so. Please tell me your sex. Ooh. Shouldn't we go to dinner first? No. So the game is, for the most part, a lot of the game doesn't change too much depending on it. The endings are affected if you're male or female. There's 4 unique endings. Well, unique. The endings are slightly different in the game. 4 of them will be slightly different if you're male or female. Also, you'll look different as well. Really, whatever you play as, I would just choose whatever and go with it. I wouldn't say the endings are so different that you must play through the game again, but why not? But like I said, 4 endings are different if you're male or female. The rest of them are combined with those classes, and that's dependent on a few things. So for this playthrough, we'll play the male hero, or male lord, or lordess, depending on who you're playing as. But like I said, it'll mainly affect the ending of the game, at least the high endings anyway. So what Warren is going to ask us, he's going to ask us a random set of questions, and what these questions do is they'll affect what type of hero will be in the game. Now, we can still change bits and pieces of our character over the course of the game. However, certain abilities we'll basically stick with us for the rest of the game. So what we're trying to decide is, what type of hero do we want to have? Do we want to have a high alignment hero? Do we have a low alignment hero? And what type of attacks the hero has? Other than that, some stats and other things will be affected, but those things can be affected via in-game items and leveling and stuff like that. I'm going to go with the more common hero that most people take because he's the most powerful of the heroes overall. But if you want like a hero that does like an area effect damage that hits everyone, you might want to go with high alignment or low alignment because both of them will kind of work that way. I'm not the biggest fan of the high alignment class overall, just because of the type of enemies and stuff in the game. And you can eventually get yourself a high alignment via playing the game anyway if you want to. And I'll go over what alignment is and stuff like that here in a second. Let's just say that's a stat that you need to be aware of while playing the game. Okay, so for the when I get my hero, I'll describe what the other heroes are or how to get them if you're curious. But for now, I'm gonna try to get the physical hero. Basically, is what I'm going for. So okay, so we got the first question is the chariot. What do you think is the best way to pull together and rule people with different hopes and ideals? Interesting. You can do military force, religion, or leadership and charisma. Like I said, it doesn't affect your story character. Like, the story doesn't affect it by these choices, just your stats and everything like that. So, if I'm doing the chariot, I want to do leadership and charisma for the choice I want, so. And it's random, like, what cards he'll pull up. So, the Hierophant. It is difficult to rule those with ideals different from your own. What do you yourself look for most in a leader? Okay, we got the Hierophant question. So if I want the hero I want, you can either choose compassion, self-respect, or sense of justice. We'll do self-respect. Alright, give me another card, Warren. I actually like the idea of the tarot cards. They're always so neat. This game uses tarot cards. Persona uses tarot cards. I'm trying to remember. There's a couple other series that actually use tarot cards as a common item in it, but Persona and Ogre Battle are the only ones I remember off the top of my head immediately, but I know there's probably more. See, now we got the Sun. After a long and difficult battle, your army has finally achieved victory. What do you credit your victory to? Alright, let's see. So, we got the Sun, so if I want the hero I want to choose those who fought with you, but you also can choose your personal luck or the God's blessing. Like I said, if you're trying to go for the high alignment hero, obviously choosing stuff that's like, an alignment in the game is being more holy, I wouldn't say Christian values per se, but more godly or religious values. So if you put religious values, a lot of stuff, that'll raise your alignment overall. So if you want neutral alignment, you tend to choose stuff that's not so much selfish, but more ground to earth or more neutral options or ones that benefit you more than anything. And then obviously if you have low alignment, you choose like the more power hungry options, stuff like that. So those who fought with you. Alright, we got the lovers. It's almost impossible to find a perfect mate. Which of the following do you most look for in a partner? Well, let's see what you got here, Mr. Warren. Tenderness, purity, and physical beauty. So, tenderness for your high alignments, physical beauty for your low alignments. I mean, it's not a low alignment thing per se, but the thing is physical beauty could change. You know, like we get old, we lose our physical beauty, and physical beauty is 9 times out of 10 in the eye of the beholder. So, anyway, we went with purity for this choice. You just gotta keep pulling out those cards, man. Alright, fortune. It is sometimes said that victory is only luck. What do you think luck is? Fortune, huh? Well, fortune is what you make of it. Anyway, luck is something you create, exactly. Luck is inescapable, and bad luck can be good, so, but luck is something you create. I think luck is a thing in this world, obviously, you know, like if you win the lottery, stuff like that, but you can create your own luck by putting yourself into situations to create more chances for luck to appear. Because if you just sit on your butt all day eating Cheetos, well, luck is probably only going to come to you getting a particularly nice Cheeto, or a favorite video of yours pops up online or something like that. So, but anyway, not to judge or anything, but yeah, luck is something you create. Alright, well, we got death. Among one of your trusted followers, a traitor is discovered. What do you do? I forgot, like, all the meanings of the tarot cards. It's been forever since I studied that. I'll try to re-go over those as I play this game. So, alright, death. So, death is... Oh, yeah, if I didn't mention, I'm playing the Super Nintendo version of the game. There's the Super Nintendo version of the game, there's the PlayStation version of the game, and then there's the Sega Saturn version of the game. I almost thought about playing the Sega Saturn version because it has a lot of quality of life improvements and added a lot of extra stuff to the game, just to give it more to it. And that probably would have been the best option. And then there's the PlayStation one. However, the PlayStation one added some things, but took out some stuff, and there's some bugs in that version of the game. And I mean, this game has bugs too, but this is the one I played first. So that's why I decided to go with the Super Nintendo version instead of the Saturn version, which is probably the better option. But anyway, so death. Death is a thing that comes for all, actually. But anyway, give them 200 lashes, which would be the low alignment option. Banish him forever, which is the weirdly enough, we want the bottom option. So yeah, 200 lashes, banish him forever, or kill the traitor. I mean, he did betray us. So, and finally, please choose a tarot card from the deck. It's random. It doesn't matter what you choose. This will be a card a tarot card is useful in the game for a lot of reasons, but there's, as far as I'm aware, there's really no way to tell which tarot card's which. So, but anyway, we just choose one randomly. All right, what do we get? The Temperance card. Oh gods above, please grant our leader bravery, honor, to all of us all victory. Okay, so if we did everything right, we get the Lord, the physical hero, the let's see, let me see what the actual name of the hero is called. I think it's called the Inuki Lord. Basically, it's the samurai for all intents and purposes. So, if you get the Inuki Lord, sorry, there was a cut there. My the setup I have, sometimes my controller goes a little wonky. Anyway, and the controller won't work, and I have to turn off the system and everything to do that. So, oh well. Anyway, the Inuki Lord is the samurai / physical lord, and these are our basic stats here. There are some variations to the stats, but for the most part, this is what you're going to get every time. So, the Inuki Lord is a Plains hero, as you can see there. Well, okay, let me go over the stats. So we got 3 fighters here. The names are random. So we got 3 fighters here. These are basic enemy unit, or basic fighter units. They'll last you for a decent amount of time, but I would say about level 5 is when you want to change them out for something else, or promote them. But we'll go over promotions when the actual game requires of it. So let's look at Bernard the fighter here. So he's level 2, he's got 85 HP, and his strength is 47. And what strength is, the strength is your ability to do damage to units. So if you're a melee unit, you want this to be as high as you can, and that'll affect how much damage do you do to your to whatever enemy target you're going against. If his agility is 49, agility is middle of the road. But agility is based off of a few things, but the main thing of agility is it's your ability to hit things, to evade things, to also how fast you go in combat. So in combat, there's a certain turn order. So if you have really high agility, you're most likely going to go first. If you have really low agility, you're going to go last. Stuff like that. Intelligence doesn't matter for the fighter for the most part, because intelligence is for wizard and magic user characters. That is basically their version of strength. So the higher intelligence, the higher you will do damage with magic attacks. Charisma affects the ability to recruit units, and that's pretty much it. Unless Bernard is going to be a fighter, charisma is not that important for him. Charisma is only important for leader characters. But yeah, charisma will affect how often people will join your cause, and with the possibility in combat. So sometimes when you beat enemies in combat, if you defeat their leader, for example, or their solo unit, sometimes you can get them to join your team. The higher charisma, the more likely they'll join your team. Alignment is basically good and evil. So the lower your alignment are, you're evil. So if you go 30 or under, you're considered an evil unit. Anything above 50 up to, I think it's up to 70, like just below 70 is considered neutral, and anything above 70 is considered holy. Alignment affects you can mix and match different units of alignment, but alignment affects how people what people will react to you in the game. So alignment is more important for liberation in the game, because we are an army trying to save this kingdom from the Empire. So depending on what our alignments are, that'll affect like how our reputation goes. And I'll go over reputation when we actually get to that. Luck is a feature that affects basically a kind of a myriad of things: how much damage you do, possible evasions, stuff like that. It's a stat you're probably going to leave alone for the most part. You can affect this stat via items and certain other things, but for the most part, this luck stat will probably play the same. Luck will only, you'll probably want luck on maybe a couple of characters if you can increase it. Unfortunately, buying luck stats is kind of expensive in the game, but luck also affects if you get certain item drops from enemies and stuff like that. Okay, so underneath that is cost. So the cost is every day that an enemy is used in battle, it costs 120 goth to use this guy. So it can go up depending on, this goes up based off the class level and so forth. So you have to be kind of careful depending on where you are money-wise in the game, like who you put in battle. Let's see, the leader's gonna cost nothing because I'm the main character. So my model almost looks like George Washington, actually, kind of like from here. Like a lady like the Valkyrie, for example, is very costly at 700, but standard fires are 120. So keep that in mind when you're fielding units. And then the next level is he needs 100 experience to gain a level. The F thing here is what that is what he does when he's in battle. So F means front line. So front line is these lines right here. Back is this area right here. So in the front line, the fighter will attack a person twice with slice, and he'll do so much damage. If he's in the back, he'll only attack once. The only reason you might want to put the fighter in the back is if he's taking a lot of damage and you don't want him to take any more damage before he can get healed. So you throw him in the back for a bit. And the next item is move. Move is planes. So planes is what his best movement stat is. So if he's on the planes, he'll move at a relatively good rate. If he's on other such movement rates, he will not move as fast, like if he's in the water and stuff like that. Movement prior, and now you're probably thinking to yourself, what sets your group's movement rate? It's based off certain priorities. There's 3 priorities in the game when it comes to movement. It's based off beasts, fighters, and other units. Beasts are like dragons and griffins and stuff like that. They have higher priority, and then what that beast has will depict on like what your unit is. So if you have a griffin and he has flight, he will be priority in terms of movement, so you could get flying around the map. And if you can fly in the map is really good because you get restricted by nothing. You can just basically straight go over anything. So if you can get flying units, that's great, or fly movement, that's great. But not every unit wants to have that, depending on your party composition. Also, item is every enemy, every creature in the game can get an item, and that'll affect stats, their element, like when they use stuff like that. So unfortunately, you just have to kind of pick and choose. Also, below that is leader. That tells, can this character become a leader unit when you create a new group? And Valkyrie can, but a fighter can't. So keep that in mind as well. Also, as you can see, my character can slice 3 times even in the front, not bad, but Ianuki is a really powerful physical attack that will hit a single target for a lot of damage. This is why a lot of people who play the game tend to make Ianuki lords, because they're really effective at single target combat, which a lot of times when you're fighting certain enemy types, that's the best way to go. Now you're probably thinking, what are the other enemy lord types? Well, the high alignment is called the Ice Lord. His big ability, or her, depending on what you're playing, is he's very high alignment, and they have 2 abilities. It can either banish, which is a holy elemental attack, which is really good against undead creatures, but also has a all area effect spell called Cold Ice Cloud. It's a cold element that hits everything. It's really useful for clearing out low-level enemies, although weirdly enough, if you're a high alignment character, you actually don't want to be killing a lot of low-level enemies a lot, because that actually affects a lot of things, but I'll go over that when we play the game. But yeah, so basically an Ice Lord is basically like high alignment cleric type of character. When you have a high alignment cleric, when you have the Ice Cloud Lord, you start your game with a cleric and 3 fighters. So a cleric, their big thing is that they're put in the back, they have the ability to heal units, which is really good. So if you can get a cleric, that's great. So that way you don't have to escape or run back to town to heal. Okay, the third Lord, which is a lower alignment Lord than what I've got, is called the Thunder Lord. He has an ability, his ability is he can slash at the front, and in the back he has the ability called Thunder. It's a thunder attack that strikes 1 target, does a decent amount of damage. Not as much as the Ianuki attack. If you have this type of group, you'll have a Beastman and a Wizard in your group. Beastmen are pretty decent units, but and the Wizards are really good units, but they're low alignment. So, and if I want to get the ending I want to go for, you want to have high alignment and high reputation. We'll go over that when we play the game. Sorry, this beginning chapter is going to be me doing the tutorial fight as well as just explaining the mechanics, so that way you understand how to play the game. It's not a complicated game. It's only complicated if you want to get like the best ending and stuff like that. And even that's not that complicated, not really. I was able to figure it out as a kid. So anyway, the final lord of the game is the Phantom Lord. This is the low alignment lord. His thing is, if he's in the front row, he can cast an ability called Poison. It's a single attack ability that is black elemental, which hurts like holy creatures more than anything. He also has an ability called Phantom in the background. The Phantom is an area of attack spell that's also black that hits multiple targets. It's a fun class to play if you want to play more of a dark low alignment, or you can actually make this guy. You can make the Phantom Lord and still make him high alignment. It just, he starts with lower alignment, so you have to work a bit more to get that high alignment, that type of thing. I'll go over how to raise alignment later for those who are curious, or how to lower it. But anyway, you get a Wizard and 3 fighters if you're that Opinion Lord. That's what they call these guys, the Opinion Lords in the game, is because it's based off your alignment and your opinions and stuff like that. It's a weird description to describe it. But anyway, all right, let's back up here. So now we can view the status of units on this edit. We can remove characters. We can put them in the backdrop, so we can set them to, like, if I wanted to create another group, for example, I could remove a fighter and put the Valkyrie in a group, but we're not going to do that yet. That's not important. We can change the formation, which moves our units like in front and back. We can also erase characters. They're gone forever. You don't really want to do that unless you... Well, you do want to do that if you have too many people in your army and you don't want to pay their cost. But most times I won't erase a character unless I just don't want it, period. We can also change the class of our characters. If I wanted to, I could turn the Valkyrie back to Amazon. Amazon is basically a female version of the fighter. However, you usually don't want to do that unless you just don't want to pay the goth for her, so I would leave that alone. I can also change the leader. I can make it, well, in this case, I can't. Yeah, sorry, the opinion leader must lead the group. Because, but usually you could if you had other items. Items, I don't think I have any items at this point yet. Items, you can use items, equip items, sell items, dispose of them, order items, or clean up. But we don't have any of that stuff right now. Okay, we can also go to options here. We can turn, that's cinematic. So what this is so any enemy that does stuff, it'll have a cinematic where they attack and they'll like swing their sword and stuff like that. If you turn off this animatic, it'll basically they'll just move, attack, do damage, and that's it. So this makes battles go by a lot faster. I'll leave it on for now, but later on in the game, I'll probably end up eventually turning that off to make battles go by a lot faster. Because, you know, like most strategy games, it's like one game called Super Robot Tyson or whatever. Those games were fun, but the animatics make those battles take like 3 times as long if you leave them on for everyone. So usually you play those games, you see the animatics once, and then you're like, oh, all right, we can turn this off. We don't. Otherwise, the one fight's gonna take 3 hours or something like that. So, and then this is the speed on dialogue and the clock in game. I usually don't like it being too fast. You can pause at any time, but anyway, this is music and these are sound effects. So we'll leave everything for now. Then we can also save our data. So let's save. We have 3 slots. If you play the PlayStation 1 or Saturn version, I think you only get like 1 slot or whatever. So, but anyway. Okay, so let's actually play the game for once. This is the Zenobia Age, and this is the whole map of the game. So we'll be playing multiple different battles and multiple different objectives over the course of the game to purge this place of the Empire and create our own kingdom. So we are the Lord here to save it, but we're going to need allies because we've only got ourselves a couple fighters and a Valkyrie. So we need to find some help. Let's head up to the Castle of Warren and find these characters. Scene 1. Beginning. Alright, that's the boss layer right there. So we need to head up there. So, let's pause the map just to show off what we can do. So this is the overall map right here. So when we're normally playing the game, we'll be dealing with multiple units and multiple characters. For the tutorial, we don't have to worry about that. So as you can see here, you can move any spot in the map. You can even move to the back corner if you really want to. However, since we're playing units, this will take forever and waste your time. So don't mess with that unless you really, really want to. Maybe you have a flying unit, I guess. But okay, so let's look at the top here. This is our Goth right here. Goth is the money in the game, and this will go down and up depending on every day cycle. So as you can see here, there's the sun and the moon. So a day cycle will be the day, night, and then when it goes back to sun, that'll be a day, and that'll be your daily progress, and you'll get a report on what your money situation is and everything like that. Now what this is your reputation. So depending on what ending you want to get in the game, you want to have high or low reputation. If you want the worst or power-hungry ending of the game, you want your reputation to be half to low on this one. If you want the best endings of the game, you want medium to high reputation. Most of the endings in the game require you to have high reputation. So now how do you get reputation? So reputation is gained by your actions in combat, mainly by liberating units and how your alignment of your main character is. So let's look at this town, for example, to explain what I mean. So that little castle thing means the residents of the castle, how many there are there. That's not important. The little cross there is their I actually don't remember now. Well, the bottom part is the Goth. That's how much you get per day for capturing this town, for example. The heart is their alignment, so it's high reputation there. So let's look at this one. This is a temple, so this is a place we could just go to. And see, I think that's it. So depending on what your town is, you need to capture it with certain types of characters. So if your town is high alignment, you want to have your character with high alignment capture the town. So right now I'm neutral, so it's not going to affect things too much. But if you go to a town with high alignment and you capture it with a low alignment character, so evil characters, your reputation will be docked because you're basically having these characters that don't work with that group or society going in and basically taking over the village. And they're like, no, please don't. So that would look bad on you. It's also vice versa. If you have a high alignment character or high alignment character go into a low alignment town, you'll also get docked your reputation because it's basically you being high and mighty, walking in and saying, I will change this place for the better, whether you like it or not, and they don't like that. In this case, it won't affect me too much. because of the tutorial, but we have a neutral, for the most part, we have a neutral alignment character, as you can see here, so that won't affect my alignment too much. Now you're probably thinking, how do you improve your alignment or charisma in the game to help with units? Well, it's based off what you're fighting. So if you're a low alignment character and you fight low leveled characters, you'll get low alignment. Because you're basically just murdering people at this point, because you're so powerful that you're just basically just blooding up people for no reason. So that looks bad on you. Your alignment will go down, and that can also not so much affect your reputation per se, but that'll affect it when it comes to like liberating and beating areas and stuff like that. So to raise your alignment, you need to basically fight higher level enemies with that character. So if you're trying to keep your character low alignment, then you can just go hog wild and kill whatever. Usually you want to kill low level units anyway, for them to stick at their low alignment. But if you want your character to get high alignment, you want to keep your character low. So for the most part, if you're trying to go for a good ending, you don't want to be putting your main character out in the fight all the time. You want to kind of leave him back and then get him to the castle when everyone else is taken care of. Unfortunately, that means tougher fights because you're at lower levels, but you'll gain a decent amount of experience. Now, there are ways to get your rewards levels higher without actually fighting in combat. And there's the town we're in, Felbina. I think the cross is supposed to be high alignment, and then I think the heart is supposed to be like charisma or whatever. I'll have to look it up again. That's like one of the few things I've forgotten. But anyway, let's actually move on the map. So how do you move? You click a target, select the move option, and then move him. Yeah, move the cursor, use destination, press A. So I want to go here because there's a little bit of there's something here if we go that way. Since we're on the tutorial map, we have plenty of time. Now, obviously, if you're worried about money situation, you might not want to have your, like, I could come back to this place later and probably, I don't have to collect this stuff now. I could come back at a later date and do all this stuff, but I'll just do it now while I'm here because it's such a small map. So yeah, we'll just take our time. Okay, yeah, here we find buried treasure. So if you move your character over a very specific spot on certain maps, you'll be able to find hidden treasure. So in this case, what do we find? Thank you, lady. We find the engraved shield, or sorry, engraved item. All right, let's take a look at that, shall we? Yeah, we're finished moving, so. All right, let's edit. Let's see. Can't really do anything on that for now. Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, if you press the, I think it's the, I'm trying to remember. I think it's the Y button, I think. But anyway, also, we can also go over our enemy units here if we want. You know, again, like we could before we fight the fight. Also go over our tarot cards. These are all the tarot cards we have in our inventory. So let's take a look at these. Hierophant puts all enemies to sleep, keeping them from attacking. Nice. Lover's card causes all enemies to fight for you. That's also a good card. Chariot. Chariot calls the god Loki to attack enemies. That doesn't look like Loki, but okay. Fortune causes all enemies to flee the battle. Death calls death to wipe out weakened enemies. You usually don't want to use this one because it'll lower your alignment, unless you're in a lower alignment group. So keep that in mind. Temperance. Temperance cures friendly characters of paralyzation, sleep, etc. So you might want to keep that in case you fight certain status afflicted types, like certain wizards. Usually enemy units do that. I know some monster types can do that too. We also have the sun. Damages all characters with low alignment. So this is really good if you're fighting like undead or beastmasters or liches, vampires, stuff like that. You can use any of these temperate cards in combat, tarot cards in combat. If you end up killing a character or creatures with tarot cards, that experience actually goes, well, your group gets the experience, but your lord also gets the experience too. So that's a way to get experience. Let's see, here's our income projections. So we get tributes of 3,536 because of the town we got. The expenses of our army is 1,000, so we're at a surplus. And projected will be that for every day. And there's our options again. And well, let's look at the item here. So we got the engraved ring. Sorry, it was a ring for a second. So let's put it on a character. We'll put it on the hero for now, so. Alright, that affects our intelligence. So that won't affect me too much. I'll probably end up on getting rid of the item later, but that's one of the items you can equip in the game. So I'll probably redo this off screen and just not equip the item because I don't need it for this class. I probably equipped it more for the like Valkyrie or something like that. So anyway, let's move to our next destination. So, which is the town. I might have to turn off the tutorial after a while just because, you know. Alright, let's capture this town. And unfortunately, we will have to play the waiting game. So let's go ahead and turn the options on for speed for now. So that will go by a little bit faster. Sometimes I might turn down to speed depending on how things go. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the game is waiting. That's just how it is. Oh well. And there's Warren. Sorry, there's the enemy there. Let's see what he is. A single unit. We have no idea what he is. Or she is. And that's Volzak. You know, you can see the stats there. But we don't want to go there yet, so. Now, if you want to go more efficiently, you could move them through that and go over. But really, in this case, since we're not fighting any enemies, I can just go as is. All right, we liberate the trade city of Dasgania. Yay! Do you wish to pull a card? Yeah, might as well. Now, there are reasons not to pull a card, because if you get certain types of cards when you pull them, certain stats will be affected. Certain bonuses will be affected, and that can actually be bad for you. So, or if you're full, obviously full on tarot, you might not want to pull them as well. Let's see what we get, though. We get the Magician card. Alright, I need to look over the... Oops. Sorry, I have to look over the stats you get whenever... Okay, we pulled the... Lucky. Alright, the intelligence of this unit's characters went up 1 point, so not as effective for me. And you can also choose to get rid of cards. Now, you can actually get negative affected cards. Like, some cards will affect your reputation, some will affect your strength, or all your physical stats, some will affect your alignment, some will give you more HP, some will change the time of day when it happens. Let's see. I'm trying to remember if there's any others off the top of my head. There's a really good one called like the World card. It'll give all units like a bonus to the next card pull or whatever. But that's not what we got. So yeah, might as well keep it. The Magician has a decent attack. By liberating towns and temples, you can gather information and get tarot cards. You will also receive a tribute every day from each town you liberate. You can't run an army without money, so be sure to liberate some towns. Shall I repeat that? No, I've got it. May the gods go with you, Baldi. Alright, and let's take a look at that tarot card we just got. The Magician. Magician causes damage using fire magic, so it's a hit everyone ability. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, now that we found that one treasure, are there any other secrets? Well, yes, there is. Let's go find it. Actually, maybe I should have gone to this place first, so that way I could have gotten the buried treasure faster. But oh well, whatever. Now let's move our guy up there and see what's there. We found a new city, Zeltenia. How is it hidden on this map? But okay, whatever. Anyway, I should have showed off what the stats were for this. I can show it later. Yes, I'll go and pull a card. We get the Sun card. Yep, now it's day because it's the Sun card. My name is Lance. I am a knight of the Royal Zenobian Army. You must be the new leader. Warren was talking about. I must say I like the look in your eyes. We have lived units this day only to see the wasteful death of King Grand avenged. I believe that at your side, we just may be able to do that. I hereby pledge my allegiance to you. We will fight with you until the Zenobian Empire is crushed and the true peace is returned to this land. The deploy unit, press the X button and use the deploy unit command. So we get a new enemy, we get a new ally, and the day has changed because of the Sun card. So we got more tributes because of the multiple towns we acquired. So yeah, got a decent amount of money. All right, let's show off deploy units. Let's show off our new character, Lance. Lance. Well, let's just say his life is not all gumdrops and roses, especially if you play Tactics Ogre. But I don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, if you want to deploy a unit, you can get Lance. I don't really need to get Lance because I can do this by myself. But if you wanted to deploy lands, you could, but I don't need to. This is a map you can do by yourself. So let's move Valdi over, or let's move our Lord over to the temple here and acquire that one. Now let's see what the town was that we got. Yeah, Zeltenia, as you can see there. So high alignment and all that other stuff. High stature. Anyway, you could later on we will want to deploy units in battle because obviously we're not going to do it with just our Lord. In this case, I will just because. And sometimes you might want to bring certain units as a combat because certain units will have extra like certain characters will have certain reactions to certain bosses and stuff like that. So you'll want to deploy named characters more often than not. So like lands and stuff like that. Anyway, we did the Rashian Temple. All right, let's pull a card. We pulled the Strength card. Nice. You get, I think it's +2 to... Oh, no, it's +1. Never mind. There's some that'll give you, like, +2 to Strength or whatever. Anyway, our characters went up in Strength, which is good for this class. So, yeah, let's go and keep it. We also get an item for this. We get the Hero Sword. Everything is progressing in real time. Morning to night, night to morning. Time is always flowing. You must therefore be able to make quick decisions or lose battles. When you need time to consider your strategy, press the start button to issue pause command. Even while paused, you can issue commands, so you can avoid hasty decisions, especially before battling with an enemy unit. It is always wise to pause and check your unit's condition. Shall I repeat that? Nope. May the gods go with you, Valdi. Yep, so always remember to pause your units if you can. So, actually... if I want to save some time, I could deploy lands and have them go over here because there's one more item we can get from this map. I may have to wait. I may have to waste some time before fighting the boss because your stats are actually affected during certain times of the day. So if you're a high alignment character, oh, he's just gonna go. Okay. Well, I thought he was gonna go across the water. If you get too close to an enemy unit, you will interact the combat. So, oops. Okay, he's not doing what I want him to do. Yeah, sometimes the game will be a bit weird when it comes to your movement because it'll take the most. Oops. Oh well, whatever. It seems that you're prepared for the battle ahead. You must now do battle with me. If you manage to defeat me, we will all follow you. Pressing the A button during battles will allow you to give commands. Let's do it. So you can fight with lands if you want to keep your levels low. Luckily, Warren is by himself. If you press the A button, we can go into our tactics menu, and that we can do this every turn that we have combat. We will take a couple turns before we move on to we eject the phase. You can also leave at any time. We can also turn off animations if you want to. Tactics. So what tactics do is it affects your character's combat, like what they're going to do. Lands here has 2 fighters and 2 wizards. So if you choose the best option, the enemy will try the best chance to go through to beat the enemy as quickly as it can with the most effective spells or abilities. This one's kind of a weird one because it's kind of odd, like what's considered best. Weirdly enough, this strategy highlights fighting certain undead over other things. The strong stat basically means you fight the strongest opponent in the group. So usually, like if there's a beast monster that has like a ton of HP, most people attack that one first because it's the strongest physical unit, for example. So usually big units will be attacked first. Leader, enemies, if they have the chance, they will attack the leader unit. If they can't reach the leader, they will attack enemies that are blocking the leader so they can actually target them. And then weak will attack weaker units, ones that usually have lower HP. In this case, it doesn't matter what stat we use. We could use strong. Now, if you want to get something extra in combat, you can also obviously use your tarot cards. Tarot cards overlap your tactics, so when you use a tarot card, whatever your tactics are will be set to, you won't be able to change your tactics, basically, so. Let's do a turn and they'll run away, because I wanna fight him as my hero. So, Nightmare, yeah, you can tell that there's some, translation issues, so, anyway. So we missed with that, so there's Tornado. No, he missed. So their agility must be low. Okay, I'm gonna run away now because I don't want to kill Warren with the lance. So all right, let's retreat. You can retreat during any time if you don't want to lose a unit. So all right, Warren is now unlocked. So now we can. I probably should have waited to beat this level and then go get the treasure later because it's kind of annoying to like go around the boss. But oh well, you don't have to liberate the town immediately. So let's interact with our character now. And the dialogue is the same no matter if it's Lance or you, so. Now let's show off our character. Nightmare again. Missed. Nice. And there's Bolt. Ah, I missed again. I want to hit him with my guy if I can, but I think we're going to beat him with fighters instead. Oh, well, whatever. Ooh. I wanted to show off my Ianuki attack. Oh, well, whatever. You have done well, and all know your power. Our fate now lies in your hands, Valdi. Now we shall fight together until the Zenobian Empire is brought to its knees. And there you go. We liberated the map, so that's it. Now you're probably thinking, are we done with this map? Can you go back to previous maps for whatever reason? Yes, you can. You can actually go back to any map at any time. The only thing is you have to be aware of is that if you are, if you're on a timer when it comes to money, and you're not, well, like if you're about to run out of money, day and night cycles do occur during you exploring other maps. So let's go back to the Castle of Warren again, just to show this off. And you will need to go back to the Castle, or not Castle of Warren. You'll need to go back to older maps for certain story elements. So, and sometimes you'll get extra dialogue from towns if you re-go to them again. And I think in this case, I don't think there's really anything you really get from these places, if I recall. I'll double check. Also, you can skip out and liberate things during a map if you're like, you just want to get to the boss and finish it, then you can come back and liberate town later. This might be easier if you have liberation units. Liberation units are basically units you specifically create to liberate certain maps. Like you might create a low alignment unit just to liberate low alignment towns, so that way you don't hurt your reputation. Or you have high alignment units, stuff like that. So if you press the R button, you can see a reduced map. So yeah, sometimes you'll get extra, okay, sorry about that, my controller messed up again. So, yeah, if the screen just like immediately cuts, is because that happens, so let's show off this. Yeah, if you press the R button, it changes the map. So, I don't know if it's worth going to towns just to get this little bit of information, but I wanted to show it off, so. Now I said you could hire lands if you wanted to have another unit check the other towns. There are some reasons why you might want to have certain characters go to certain towns that also affect things too, but go look to the southwest of Warren's Castle. You may find buried treasure there. I mean, I already knew about the buried treasure, but this is another way to find out maybe stuff you might miss the first time you were on the map, so. I think they only have one thing to really tell you. I don't think if I recall, I don't think they have multiple things to tell you, so it's not really worth going back to town multiple times. Unless there's a specific story element that you're aware of that you can go check up on, you know, for example. Alright, let's see what the temple has to say, if they have anything unique to say. When you're in an area you have already cleared, you can return to the main map at any time. You wish. Just press the X button to open up the commands. You will see an icon called Return to Map. So this is if you get stuck, you're like, oh no, how do I get back? Yeah, there it is right there, so. Alright, let's go to this map here. You can make 3 commands at the main map you can make 3 commands at the main map screen by pressing X button. Use the edit units command to build or change units in your army. A true leader must be able to use those leaders under his command wisely. Good luck. Good luck. Alright, let's go get that buried treasure and call it a episode, I think. Most of the episodes will probably be me doing 1 map per episode, for those who are curious. Anyway, buried treasure.
Find out.
Alright, we get the Kusanagi blade for that, so. Alright, we're done with the map, so we can now return to map. Yep. we've gotten everything here. So let's take a look at our new units. Yep. Now that Warren has officially joined our army, he now gives us a bunch of units. These units will be random, depending on your alignment and what lord you play as. You might have a different set of units outside of the starting point of the game. So we've got lands there. We've got Brandel. It comes with a couple of archers, Amazons in this case. So Amazons usually want to have in the back, and they have their own unique movement type, and as you can see, forest. They also have their own unique classes they get into. So male and female will have different class what they go into depending on their stats and charisma and stuff like that. If you want to promote enemy units, you do want to have high charisma with enemy units. If you want them to get to promote to certain stats anyway. We also come with Jad, who's I said these are all random, by the way. He is a Beastman. Beastmen tend to be lower alignment characters. They have the strength of beast type of enemies, so they tend to do better damage against beast type of enemies, but that doesn't mean they are strong against beast types or weak against beast types. It just means they have really good strength against them. That's all that means. Anyway, yeah, usually depending on your alignment, you'll have certain types of characters join your party. Yeah, see, there's the cleric unit right there. If they're in the back, they can either attack with the Ankh ability, which is okay. It's better if you're fighting undead to put a cleric in the front, but usually you want to keep them in the back because they'll be healing your units. So this is a way for high alignment characters to fight higher level creatures, is by having clerics to be able to keep them alive while taking all the damage, or using tarot cards to help beat those enemy units. And then let's see what we got here. We also got a Doll Mage. Doll Mage is could be a low alignment character depending on how things go. They can use puppet attacks or acid. Acid hits everyone in the turn. We also got Golems. Golems are really low agility creatures, but they're very heavy hitters, as you can see with the 60 attack. They can punch 3 times in the front or 2 in the back, so you usually want to keep these guys in the front. Let's see, any other new units we've got? Oh, we've also got Warren. Warren joins the group at level 4, so he's going to be your big magic user for most of the game. Yeah, you can hit it in the front, but when he hits in the front, it's just whacking people with a staff, and it doesn't do a ton of damage because he has low strength. So you usually don't want to be having Warren in the front. And you can also hit with magic twice in the back, so usually be like lightning or something like that. And he also has a couple of Hellhounds. Hellhounds are beast type of creatures. They're really good for the attack. Yeah, they have low charisma, as you can see there, and medium to low alignment depending on the creature. But yeah, their big thing is being able to go first and doing a decent amount of damage. They can smash 3 times in the front. All right, and they can hit or attack, breathe fire in the back. Usually want to keep them in the front, and their movement type is mountain. So let's see, got another. Okay, so no other new units here. So now we don't have to use the units as that. If you want to kind of mix and match and remove units and adjust them. But usually what I do with Beastmen is I usually tend to put them with beast characters like Hellhounds and stuff like that. I'd probably put Warren with actually fighters or stuff like that, because Warren, weirdly enough, even though he comes with Hellhounds, he doesn't really work well with Hellhounds. Like I said, I put him in Beastman groups instead. Also, certain groups have certain body compositions. Like certain characters can only work, or you can only put so many characters of certain types in a group. Like large monster types will take up big squares, so you can't put like certain types of monsters all wrapped up into one. So, but I'll go over that next time. So I'll probably end up off screen. I'll probably end up like breaking a lot of these groups together and forming ones that I think will work, like low alignment groups and stuff like that. But we'll save that for the next episode. So now that we've got our groups together, now we must form our army to fight the Zentinian Age. What awaits us in our next fight in the lands of Sharam? Who will be our next boss? Will we acquire some new allies to help us out? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.